Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 7 of digital forensics and fact checking. We're on video lecture 2, hands-on with fact checking. In the first video, I showed you, you reviewed some of the slides on, how to, detect AI with your naked eye on the images video. Today, we're going to work with audio a little bit, as well as look at Rolli app, Rolli.ai. So you want to make sure you've set up an account there. That can help you detect bot accounts on AI and Twitter. And we'll use a tool called Deepfakeometer for video and audio and images. So you'll have an assignment then, fact checking video, images, text, and social media. That is due August 3rd at noon. This is for my summer 2026 class. Keep in mind that is on Monday, August 3rd. 2 days later, your final paper's due. So you're going to want to jump on this pretty quick and get it done so give yourself enough time to finish up that final paper as well. So, you've had a couple weeks to research and watch the video, and your final paper should be able to, write it pretty quickly. So we're going to dig into our master handout, which is linked off of here. I would open that up. And I'd also open up Rolli.ai and have that open. And I would also go into our week 5 folder, or excuse me, our week 7 folder. It helps to be in the right week. And then you can open up image, video, and social media fact checking assignment as well. So you have the assignment sheet open when we go over that. Okay. So those are all the things you should have open. Okay, just a reminder, Journalist Toolbox, we do have journalisttoolbox.ai. We do have an AI fact-checking tools page. A lot of little short videos on it. Nothing, you have to play for this class, but, it's some good review, just kind of knowing it's there, and you can pick up on some of those resources. Just a little reminder that it's there. In our master handout, it's at the top level of our course. It's linked off your week 7 schedule. Everything on week 1 is just, or on page 1 is my contact info and some basic background information. But on week 2, we'll work a little bit with Google Fact Check Explorer again, and we'll play around with the Rolli app. Also show you some other tools. Image Whisperer, which is kind of an advanced media verification tool, comes from a guy by the name of Hank Ben S. He covers a lot of these tools, or creates a lot of these tools. He has a little 55-minute video up here. You don't need to watch it for this class. But if you're really curious about how he builds these AI detection tools, he's a journalist that's also very good with the web. You can watch the video if you want to. It's not required for class. But Image Whisperer is one of his tools. We played with map checking in a previous class. The other one you should probably have open here too is Deepfakeometer. Phone validator would be a good one to have open too, because we'll be using that, demo it for you, and then we'll be using that on your assignment on detection. So we'll get into that in just a minute. Okay, so Google Fact Check Explorer. We've played with this tool, a couple times throughout the semester. It's a good one for detecting, an image. Is it real? Is it fake? You get some history on it. This is one of a giant beach ball rolling wild through the streets of London. Now, is it real or is it fake? It kind of looks like it's fake. It's photoshopped, it's or built with AI. So doesn't look real. So let's find out. We can drag it in here and upload the file in here and go to our image context. There's been no recent fact checks on it. But we can go to image context, which will go back and show where the origins of this image are online. And it comes from 2013, 10/29/2013. It's an older photo. Some of the search keywords that people are typing in: Old Street Roundabout, London Bridge, London Suffolk, Old Street Roundabout down here too. Shows some of the, and this will vary from time to time. So shows a snapshot of some of the websites that have published it. I can go in here maybe and see if the Guardian has a story about the deadly St. Jude storms, where there was heavy winds and caused a lot of damage in the London area. As I scroll down here, I'll probably start to see, voila, a giant beach ball escaped from a roof in Old Street, London around 6:45 this morning. It was seen rolling around the Silicon Roundabout. So they'd gone and confirmed this image. It was actually shot by a reader and sent in to them. But they did, confirm it. So now you know this image is real, even though it looks fake as all heck. It's a real image. And here's another one. Ham and High. It's a local publication. Here it has the image. It actually gives credit to the person who shot the image, which is very important. It has a little story about it here. Also has a photo kind of what happened at the end. The beach ball deflated and died at slow death in a pool of water here. And this one came in from someone else. There's the before image that shows the beach ball on its giant display, and that wind just blew it off of there. So it's a real photo, even though you look at it, you think it's fake. And this is a good way, again, to go through and get into the DNA of a photo and its dig into its history a little bit. So you use that, or Google reverse image search. You can also use TinEye, RevEye, which is a tool that we have looked at a little earlier in the semester. So all those are good image fact checking tools. I want to try out this other one. I've never used this, but this is Hank Van Ness's Image Whisperer. And you can upload an image into here by just dragging and dropping one in, hitting this little button, and then seeing what you get for your result. So I've never used this before, so who knows what we're going to get for a result, but let's see what we get here. I'll drop it in, and I understand, and see if I get anything. It doesn't have a get in touch button, but doesn't seem to have any other indicator here that allows you to submit it, which is really weird. I'll try click to browse. Hang on here. And checks. Yeah, it's not giving me any results there. Thought maybe some of these tabs up here would give me a result, but it didn't give it to me, which is really strange. I'm going to try click to browse, reload the image. Sometimes these tools, they're still relatively new, and they don't always produce what you're looking for. And so I wanted to experiment with this one, though. I'm going to try it a little different way. And I'm going to go into the beach ball image. You open. So dragging it in didn't get anywhere, but now it's running because I uploaded it. Analysis failed. None type object has no attribute yet. Let me try it again one more time. And so it just gave it a fail as far as analyzing it. But let me see what it was telling me before that. 10 detection models it's running on. 4 adding detectors. Read more. Yeah, it wouldn't read it. So there's some issue with it reading this image. It's a basic JPEG. So Image Whisperer fails on this test, whereas the other tools have been able to handle it, both TinEye and Google Fact Check Explorer and Google Reverse Image Search too. And I never use just one tool. So let me go into Google Images. I'll drag it in there real quickly. But it's fun to test these sometimes, see if they can produce similar results. And this one, of course, shows an inflatable ball, and things like this. It's trying to sell me beach balls. I don't want that. Exact matches is what I want up here. Visual matches. About this image, maybe that'll give me something. It did. Similar images are at least 10 years old, and then starts to give me all the news stories, The Independent, The Guardian, a bunch of others in here too. The Mirror has a big one on it. So gave me some different posts than what the Fact Check Explorer gave me. So interesting that Image Whisperer couldn't handle that file type, but the other ones could, which is really interesting. Another tool I want to show you is this one on your master handout. It's called Phone Validator, phonevalidator.com. If you get a lot of email or text messages from people you don't know or from organizations you're not familiar with, it's good to run their numbers through here. Many of them are scams. I get them a lot around election time. People want me to donate to a certain candidate or a certain cause. And I can run that phone number through here, and then it'll tell me if it's a VoIP account, a landline. Basically, it tells me if it's a real number. And then, so it tells me, date of this report. This phone number is a real cell phone number that runs through Verizon Wireless. The location's in Chicago, United States. It's not from outside the United States, which sometimes your scam ones are. But it runs the phone number through all these huge databases. It'll break it down by cellular, landline, or VoIP. And these are the robocalls. If it shows up as a VoIP, you're talking about a robocall number. And these are all the databases it runs it through. And this number belongs to Verizon. It confirmed it. So I'm going to give you some phone numbers on your exercise to run through and be able to tell me if they're robocall numbers or if they are real cellular or landline numbers. So that'll be part of your take-home exercise. All right, back to the master document, phone validator. That's a good one. I want you now to open up Deep Fakeometer right here. And you'll probably have to set up a login for this. This is a tool that's built by the University of Buffalo's Digital Forensics Lab. It's a comp sci professor, a couple of his grad students built it. And you can drag your media in here, audio, images, video. It gives all the file types here. MP3s, MP4s, WAV files, JPEGs, PNG. And I'm going to test it out. And what it does is allows you to select from a list of detector tools over here on the right. And sometimes it'll give you a choice of 5, sometimes it'll give you 8 or 9 choices of tools. And typically I pick 2 or 3. And these tools work outside of this tool. It just uses the application programming interface of Whisper, let's say, to detect AI in audio. And you can play those different tools off of each other, those detection tools off of each other to see what kind of readings you get. And really, I see any percentage of AI in audio, images, or a video, I'm going to become very, very suspicious. So if you don't get, a definitive answer from the 3 you selected, try another 3, run it again and again, and use those results to detect what you think might be real or might be an AI-driven piece of multimedia. So I'm going to test it. Here's a piece of audio I've got sitting on my desktop. It's the Biden robocall. This is a robocall that went out to New Hampshire voters in the 2024 election during the primaries. New Hampshire is the second stop on the primary tour after the Iowa caucuses. And this voice robocall goes out to 80,000 New Hampshire voters, and it's Joe Biden's voice. It sounds just like him, telling voters to stay home and save their vote for the general election. Now, anybody that knows anything about elections knows that you can vote both in the primary and in the general election. You don't have to pick one or the other. But some people believed it. And it was actually produced by a guy that was hired by a Democratic opponent of Biden's, somebody in the party that didn't like him, wanted to drive down voter turnout in hopes that Biden might lose, and it wasn't going to happen. It made national news, and this is the audio from it. So I'm going to play the audio so you can hear it.
Yeah, in our primary. What a bunch of malarkey. You know the value of voting Democratic when our votes count. It's important that you save your vote for the November election. We'll need your help in electing Democrats up and down the ticket. Voting this Tuesday only enables the Republicans in their quest to elect Donald Trump again. Your vote makes a difference in November, not this Tuesday. If you would like to be removed from future calls, please press 2 now.
And by the way, if you press 2, it wouldn't take you out of the call. So that was not Joe Biden. It sounded like him, but it's not him. It was built in a tool called 11 Labs, which is actually a really good tool for creating audio, text to audio tool, but you can use it to mimic people's voices. And this was a prime example of that. So I'm going to test this out. We know it's AI, but maybe you don't. Maybe it's some audio that was sent to you by a source or something. And you can go through and it auto selects a bunch of different tools here. I'm going to unselect them and just pick a few. If I ran all of these tools, it would take, probably 5-10 minutes for it to analyze everything. But I want to see how these different tools deal with it. So I'll pick a newer one from Whisper, a couple of the RawNet tools. They're pretty good. Submit analysis. Do I know if this is AI generated? No. Do you want to share the data with us? Yes. And I'll hit confirm. While this is cooking, I'll talk a little bit about some other things you can do with the tool. It'll work with images too. So what we'll do when this gets done running, and over here it'll give you the percentages on the right. We'll run the beach ball story or image through here and see what it comes up with, just to see how it does. Also during this time, you can always pause the video too while this is running, and set up your account at rolliapp.com, ROLLI .ai. This is a tool that measures sentiment on social media. It's built by Nick Toso, former producer at CNN. He worked in their Washington, D.C. bureau. Great guy. It's built for journalists, by journalists. It's free. Just use your uic.edu email address. You'll be approved to use it pretty quickly. Typically takes just an hour or so. So go ahead and set up the Rolli account. I know it's been part of your homework for a little while, but if you haven't set it up, please do so now. So let's go back to Deepfakeometer and see, Whisper 100% certainty that it is AI generated. RawNet 2 2021 says AI generated likelihood is 92%, and RawNet 3 is 93.7% certain. These are pretty definitive numbers. And if I were to see numbers like this, I would question the validity of the audio right away and look into it a little further. Now, maybe, I get a lower percentage sometime, and we may see that with the image here. If I get that lower percentage, I'm still, going to question it, if it's even 18, 19, 20%. But if I get zero or small digits or it's really inconclusive, I'm going to go through and maybe vet it a little bit more. So I'm going to pick some of the newer tools here. I've never checked this image in here before, which is really interesting. I'll try National Public Radio's fact checker as well, and I'll submit the analysis. I don't know. You would share the data with us? Yes. I've tried other images and video and audio in here. You'll be using Deepfakeometer on your take-home assignment. You'll be doing a piece of video that you'll download from a folder, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Really good tool because it allows you to go out and use more than one fact-checking tool and get a bigger snapshot of the certainty of AI. It's running AI against AI. It takes and breaks down the DNA of the video, the image, the audio, and it can detect if it's AI produced or not. These are pretty advanced tools. They're ones I've used before. Whisper for audio is absolutely fantastic for creating audio, but also detecting it. It's really, really good at that. So we'll let this run here for a minute. And I've got others here on your handout. If you scroll down a ways, I've got other image and audio detection, AI detection tools, AI voice detector, Deepfakeometer's there again. AI or not, that one costs $9 a month, but it's better to use the free tools. Spectrum Analyzer is another good one. Sensity AI is probably the Ferrari of all the video AI detection tools. It runs $200 annually. Deepware can be a quick, easy one. InVid makes some really nice video verification tools too. It's also available as a Google Chrome plugin. If you go to their website, you can download a little plugin that sits up here in your toolbar. You can just click on the video and it'll run the analysis. I've given you two just for your own use if you want to. This video M&M talking about this EFF in South Africa's largest, which is South Africa's largest political party. and talks about speaking out in support of it. It's an AI generated video that you can run through these tools and test it. If you want to try it out, it's nothing that is required for the class, but it's kind of a cool video. It's one of those really well-known deep fakes that have been around for a while and circulated widely and caused quite an uproar. A lot of people believed it. It's kind of a scary thing to see. So let's go back in here. And this one, not as conclusive. CFM only gave it 53% chance. That's still pretty high, though. And effort, it's AI detection is 53%, 1.1. Here's what's interesting, though. These kind of are 50-50 in thinking this real photo's AI. So it's not really, I don't know if I trust that. The only one that really got it right is NPR gave you a really low percentage here, 1.1% chance that it's AI generated. And we know it's a real photo because we just confirmed it another way. That's why you don't use just one tool. That's why you have to use multiple ones. And it's kind of like putting together a puzzle sometimes. Okay, go over here, confirm this. Go over here, try this. Am I getting different results? But what's interesting here, and this is why I ran this one through here, is it kind of fooled it. It gave me a 53% chance, over 50% chance that this is AI. It didn't do a good read on this image. It's a real photo. So we already confirmed that. So these tools can make mistakes is what my point is with this. So you need to be really careful with them. Okay, so that's Deep Fakeometer. It's good for testing video and audio. You have some other choices in there as well. Rolli app. If you haven't set up the account yet, hit pause and set it up. It's ROLLI.ai and just set it up. When you log in, there'll be a button in the upper right-hand corner that says Social Dashboard right up here on the right. It'll be right next to your icon whenever you logged in with my Google account, so it uses this little image. And it'll take you to this page. The actual login page looks, it's blue and has a bunch of experts on it because you can use it to find expert sources on topics. It's one of the early uses of Rolli. It's a play on words. It's Rolli as in Rolodex. Back in the day, reporters had Rolodexes on their desktop, and they would on their desk, and they would roll through the Rolodex to find in alphabetical order names of all their sources and their contact information. Talk to your parents. They probably used Rolodexes back in the day. When I first started in newspapers, I used them. So it's good for finding expert sources, maybe for a term paper or a news story you're writing, something like that. But not long after they built this tool, they added in this layer of software called Information Tracer. It was developed by a recent graduate of New York University of NYU. And he teamed with Rolli App and with Nick Toso to add in this detection tool. And it tracks various platforms, in this case, Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, Blue Sky, Facebook, Insta, Threads, and Weibo. And you can take out any of them that you don't want to scan. And you can put some keywords in here. And right up here at the top, it says add new keywords. You can use and or not to combine or exclude certain terms. So if you want to do like Trump and Biden, but not Hunter Biden, you could do that. And then start date, end date. And it always defaults, and I'm recording this in late March of 2026. You can go in and adjust these two by the calendar. And you can do it over 6 months as well, or just a few days or a few hours even. So just adjust that as you see fit. Again, if you're stretching it out to more than a month, it's going to take some time to process all that information. Here's one that I ran the other day on the Iran war. It showed more than 7 million engagements, and when I hover over the number, it breaks it down to some of the top performers. How many likes and retweets there were on Twitter. God, there's all this data. How many YouTube videos were liked and commented on. It's just some aggregate data. And here, over this little donut chart here, you can see it breaks down and categorizes something AI does very well. This is running a huge AI algorithm, an information tracer. It tells me that 13% of the posts in all, over all these different platforms, were either positive, neutral, negative, irrelevant, as well. So you can pick up on, okay, overall sentiment is pretty negative about the Iran war right now. Behavior detection. If it says yes here, that means it's noticed some odd behaviors, typically from bot accounts that can come in and start sharing misinformation and disinformation over and over and over. And when I click on that, it gives me a little description overall of it here. A lot of these are coming off of, look at this, Reddit, YouTube, and Blue Sky, Facebook. The score is pretty low. Twitter, has had some issues with it. Kind of breaks that down. It gives you a synopsis of it, which is interesting. It's something you could use when we're going to analyze some topics on our image and social media fact checking session. Overall there was some odd behavior. Top users. This is some of the top accounts that are sharing the information. And then it'll go into actually showing the top posts. So you can click on this and see, what were some of the top posts on X that were shared. These are some of them here. You can scroll through and read them. Fox News, of course. CNN will be in here quite a bit. You'll see a bunch of others. And then you can also find expert sources if you're looking for somebody to interview on the Iran war. This database that they put together at Rolli app, it's really nice. And these professors and other experts pay to be in there. That's how they make their money. That's why we can use it for free as journalists. And then it's got their contact information, areas of expertise. Usually has an email address down here. Sometimes their full bio too, you can click on as well. So it's kind of cool. You can reach the experts as well. And there's various other actions. You can refresh this as you go. This was from yesterday, but I can hit refresh and get more current information here. I've got Iran war in here. I'll run another one in a minute here. I can look up here under users. This is one that I've run on Donald Trump. It shows the platform is X, United States is where it's from. It's an individual's account. It'll categorize it in one of four ways. Individual, it'll drop it in as a unknown, which is a bot account. Organization, which maybe is a nonprofit organization or political action committee or something, or media, a media outlet one. Those are available in there too. Here's, I've done one on climate change too. It dropped out apparently. You can look at insights, and this is off, the Iran war, and it gives it to you. It is a little tree map here, and you can pull it up by different categories, and it'll break them out, and you can see some of the posts. A lot of these are just on Twitter. Interesting, to look at. It's not something you take it in bed. It gives you different categories over here: Reddit, YouTube, Blue Sky, and Facebook. And you can break them down by topic and kind of see what people are saying. When you get under here, you start to see things like geolocation, shows maps, and it breaks it down by these categories: individual, organization, media, and bot. And you can begin to see different countries where they're at. So the organizations are here in the U.S. You could zoom in and find even more detail in here. This one with the question mark, this is a bot account that was talking about the Iranian media have written, there is no need for war in Pakistan, just cut off the oil supplies. Pakistan will soon collapse. This is a bot account that's sharing a lot of information, much of it, false. You can look at top spreaders. These are the people that are getting the most shares. It'll break down their profile. You can go look at their accounts. Some of these are in other languages, obviously. The emotion maps, those are kind of fun to look at by sentiment and emotion. And the colors kind of break down, the various sentiments. You can hover over them too. So these are like kind of impartial, or red is negative, sentiment, reason. You can see all these are negative here. Green is positive. It's got the little thumbs up. And it gives the sentiment reason for each one. So AI has gone through and evaluated all these thousands of Twitter posts. and has created these little sentiment buttons on it, which is kind of cool. So you can go back in then and tweak some of these. The topic tree is kind of interesting. That was what we were in earlier. Engagement graph is where you can go in and look at these. If you just look at Twitter here, that's where you can really get into the various posts and things like that. You can read them. You can click on them and open them if you want to. But the emotion maps are a lot of fun too. You can look at emotion or sentiment here. I forgot to point that out earlier. Anger over here. These are anger ones. You can screenshot these and use them. Sometimes people do just to show it's overwhelming anger or neutral or happy. Sometimes we ran this once with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. It was overwhelmingly positive. There's various filters you can do with this too. You can turn on and off the different social platforms. These are all the filters: happiness, sadness, anger. Gives you the color codes here to read what they are actually saying. So, kind of some interesting little breakdowns of these various insights. So you can run a keyword through here. I'll do one, Donald Trump, and I'll just run it for these dates. And I'll just break it down to Facebook and Twitter. And then to get it to run, there's no go button. You just hit return after Trump, and it'll run it and it'll drop it in here. It takes a little while for it to build, but then you'll be able to go in and look at users and insights and start to look for those bot accounts in the map. Sometimes they show up too in the users section as well. So that's how you'll track, a topic. Depends, what's going on during the time you're taking the class. You could put in a newsmaker's name, you could put in a topic, climate change or anything like that. Are people reacting positively or negatively to climate change? Is there some behavior detection? Is there some bot accounts? And try to flag a couple of bot accounts on that topic. That's something that we'll be looking to do. So again, once you go through and learn how to interpret the data, going across this chart and then up here under users and insights, the tool becomes very intuitive and is pretty easy for you to use. So I'm going to let that percolate as I'm going to talk about your assignment. And we'll see if we get some results when it comes back. It takes a minute or two for it to run because it's going through, again, hundreds of thousands of posts, even just with Twitter and Facebook. So it'll have a lot of them. So down here under video lecture 2, which is what we're on right now, fact-checking video, images, text, and social media assignment. This will be due August 3rd at noon. This is for my 2026 summer course. And you can click on that link there. It'll take you to the assignment sheet. And this is the assignment sheet right here. You'll work on this individually. No, you're not working in teams. And you'll download, make a copy of the assignments, store it in your own Google Drive. Don't share answers because I can figure that out too easily. And it's going to put you through a series of tasks. Each one of these assignments is a different task. So we start with photos. This is worth 25 points, roughly 8 points each. And you can click on this folder and open it up. It'll take you in here. It gives you a bunch of images, a video, different things that you can use for fact checking. And we're going to fact check all these images and video that are in here using these various tools. Look up these 3 photos in Google Fact Check Explorer or another image tool that we use this semester. This first one should be pretty easy for you, grande.jpg. We did a little work with that earlier this semester, so I talked about it prior. Give me the correct context. I give you a context of how this was shared on social media. Is that photo really, from what happened, or was it from something else? You can go through and use those search tools to find where it originated online, and is that the actual context? So the ones from the climate strike from 2019, I picked some older stories, because they're not as fresh in your mind. And it was shared on social channels on September 20th. Was this really from a climate strike? Was this photo from that? And give me the correct context. Was it or wasn't it? Same with this photo of a homeless man on the streets of Chicago during the polar vortex. This was heavily shared by Dems and Republicans and even some celebrities is saying, "Oh, this poor man's freezing to death in Chicago." Well, was he? Or was it from somewhere else at another time? Assignment two is to run these robocall phone numbers through, or these phone numbers through phone validator. See, are they robocalls, VoIP accounts, VoIP, or is it a cellular call or a landline? Give me, the answer in the blank next to it. Rolli app. You can try testing Donald Trump through there, or you can do another topic, or another topic. I'll give you a choice. And then run that information tracer like I just showed you, and you'll have the results. And try and find some of the bot accounts. List some of them here in that little space. Checking text for AI. We're going to run GPT-0 and copy leaks, which we learned about in previous weeks. I've given you a press release to run through there. So you can fact check that. And then deep fakeometer. I'm going to give you a couple of images. Trump 800 by 800 image out of this folder, and then run it through deep fakeometer. And then this one of Walter Cronkite calling the ending of the moon landing from 1969. Run that video through a couple of times and see what you get. What does the AI percentages say from, LSDA or one of the other tools in deep fakeometer that detect AI in video. Is it a real video or is it a fake video? And then we can do kind of fact checking the old school way. Find footage of Walter Cronkite doing the CBS broadcast of the moon landing. I mean, search YouTube or just search Google and see if you can find the video and then share the link here. Say, is this footage the same, as what I saw in this video? So it's a couple different ways to do fact checking. You always want to fact check your fact checking, have a backup. So this assignment will be due on April 3rd, Monday, April 3rd for the 2026 class. So you just download this again, file, download or file, make a copy, move it into your private Google Drive. Don't leave it in our week 7 folder because I don't want to get you guys sharing answers that way. You'll get in trouble that way. So we don't want that to happen. So it's very easy to just make a copy of it. So now we got our results too on Trump here. And a large percentage is negative. 60% of all of the Twitter and Facebook posts about Trump or even by Trump are negative due to the classification. No behavior detection today. That's interesting. Usually he has some bots that are sharing his information, top news experts and so on. You don't need to use the experts. And then you can always jump over to users and insights and run those. So really interesting little tool, Rolli app. So that's it for this week. If you have questions, reach out to me. You've got all 3 video lectures from this week. And really the big assignment is the fact checking assignment, and then keep working and writing your final paper. Only one more week left. Best of luck, guys. Take care.